For me, it's about the law and people. I just need facts, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Just facts. And how people can resolve their problems and just be better for it.
Justice with passion.
I always knew I was going to go into law because I tried to see everybody's point of view in an argument. And I encouraged people to talk to each other to try to resolve their problems.
Justice with truth.
Do not waste your time and do not waste mine.
This is Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. Dakota Westford is suing Riley Powers in the amount of $1,860. Ms. Westford claims she was injured while visiting the defendant's haunted house and says Mr. Powers' staff went too far with their scare tactics.
Okay, Ms. Westford, I understand you went to the defendant's haunted house.
Yes.
And you didn't like it.
It caused me such trauma.
It
I
did?
did not like it, yes.
Wow. Okay. Tell me about your haunted house, Mr. Powers.
Well, if I may, Your Honor, I'd like to back up about a couple of years, 20 years in fact. 20 years ago, I was asked to put together a fair for our local community, and a couple of us thought it would be a great idea to build a haunted house at the center. You let that be sort of the centerpiece of the whole fair. And since then, it's grown into quite an attraction. It's evolved, and of course, some of the scary animations inside have evolved as well. And I'll admit they're pretty scary, but that's part of the fun. And
so it's been around. Your haunted house has been around for 20 years.
20 years now.
Interesting. So it's pretty well known in your area.
It's pretty well known in a little town called Salina, Kansas. And
do you have people from outside of Salinas to come?
Yes. In fact, thank you for asking. We have a lot of people from other cities and other communities now enjoying it. In fact, we were rated the #1 haunted house in the entire country, Your Honor.
Wow. That is awesome. Okay, so I imagine it's a well-oiled machine. Is it open year-round or just around?
No, we start the fair around the early part of October. It runs through December because we want to catch all the holidays.
Of course.
But I have to admit the big attraction is the haunted house, and we get most of our foot traffic during the Halloween weeks.
All right. So
leading
the
up to
haunted
Halloween.
house is kind of a staple of the fair.
I'm sorry?
The haunted house is the staple of the fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so Miss Westford, had you ever been to the haunted house before this first time?
I've never been to the haunted house, but I've gone to the fair every year
Okay.
since I was a little girl. This was my first time in the haunted house.
Okay. And it was rated one of the scariest haunted houses.
Yes, it is. And I think part of that is due to the fact that we advertise for it and we do a lot of different effects within the house. If I may, Your Honor, I'd like to introduce a piece of evidence.
Go ahead, Cinder, please grab this evidence for us.
This is a flyer that we use to post around the community, just to let the community know that the haunted house is coming.
Okay.
And we also then, a week or so before, we actually posted all over the actual event itself. So it's on the fairgrounds, all over the fairgrounds. You can't miss it.
Fantastic. Great. Looks, if I'm ever in Salina, Kansas, I'll go to the haunted house?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So then what happened, Miss Westford? Why are you suing Mr. Powers for $1,860?
I am suing him because although it is advertised as being a scary haunted house, it's also advertised as being fun. And let me tell you, while I was waiting in line to go inside the haunted house, Mr. Powers came over and he greeted my friends and I started to get really, really nervous about going in the haunted house. And
This is exactly why I did that, to try to put her at ease.
Oh, you noticed that she was nervous?
We were having some small talk and he asked me what was wrong, and I told him, I said, I'm really, really scared to go in this haunted house. And Mr. Powers told me that there was nothing to worry about and that the haunted house wasn't even that scary.
Your Honor.
Well, newsflash, it is fake, right? It's fake.
It is fake, but it didn't feel fake, Your Honor.
I understand that.
It was
your brain does tell you it's fake, right?
But it didn't feel fake, Your Honor. There were monsters and there were people with bloody knives and bloody chainsaws, and they were running around chasing after us.
They're supposed to do that. I went to a haunted house with my daughter when she was in 8th grade, and I was terrified, but I knew it was fake. I'm like, I don't like haunted houses. I think I've been to it twice, but it's fake. Anyway, okay. So you walked into the haunted house, and what happened?
And it was so much scarier than I anticipated. Since I asked Mr. Powers if it was going to be scary and he said no, that it was nothing to worry about, I assumed going in that I had nothing to worry about. I thought it was going to be a fun time with my friends.
Okay, so tell me about it. Tell me about your experience.
So there were monsters and there were people with bloody chainsaws, like I said, Your Honor.
Okay.
But the worst part is that there was this monster and he was chasing my friend and I around with a bloody knife.
Which
and
is
it got
what they
so
do.
bad.
That's what they're supposed to do.
But
In
it got
every
so
haunted
bad, he
house,
was
there's
getting
always one
so-
of those Jasons trying to get you with a knife.
Coming up on Justice for All.
Which I later found out that I broke my wrist when I fell. And then the monster, he starts laughing and waving his bloody knife in my face. Mind you, we're 200 feet away from the haunted house.
And later,
I never really been into school. You know, I really stayed with it just to make my family happy.
If you decide not to go further your school after high school, then what else are you going to do? What's your plan B?
I'm a rap artist.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. We're back with the case of Dakota Westford, who is suing Riley Powers for medical expenses.
So, Miss Westford, continue. So you got into the haunted house.
Yes, and I ran out the emergency exit, and this monster was chasing me with a bloody knife outside into the emergency exit. So I'm standing in the safe zone, and I assume there's going to be no monsters around because it's the safe zone, so I stop running. But the monster comes busting out of the emergency exit, and he starts chasing me with his bloody knife. I get 200 feet away from the haunted house before I trip and I fall, which I later found out that I broke my wrist when I fell. And then the monster, he starts laughing and waving his bloody knife in my face. Mind you, we're 200 feet away from the haunted house.
The
If this
outside-
happened
Is
on
that
the
true, Mr.
premises,
Powers?
The outside area of the house is also part of the attraction.
not 200 feet away, it's not.
So it's like after you leave it, is it what, like a
Well,
a
people run
yard?
out. People run out all the time. Sometimes there might be, a scare actor at the emergency exits, sort of shooing
So
them.
that's still part of the
It's
haunted.
absolutely still part of it.
So
yes.
it's like
Not
what is it?
200
Like
feet
a little garden outside of the
No,
house?
it's just a dirt area right now, but it encircles the entire house.
Okay.
And so, sometimes people come out very scared, very frightened, laughing all
Yeah.
the time, and they just kind of run around the path area.
So then the actors are allowed to go out there because that's part of the haunted house.
They're allowed to go up to the door.
So then, is it common for actors to leave the haunted house or to chase them out in this area? You say that sometimes they go out, sometimes they don't?
Well, just to clarify, Your Honor, they will chase them up to the emergency exit. We have
Okay.
6 exits around
Okay.
the inside the house. They're allowed to chase them up to the threshold of the exit, but we really frown upon them going outside because we don't want to spoil the surprise. They're in costume. They may be recognized. These are volunteers from the community, so we
But
try
they're
to.
allowed to go outside.
Our policy is to go up to the door. If you step outside the door,
So, okay, if you step outside the door, what?
if you step outside the door, it's fine. We frown upon
But it's still
carrying
fine
it any
because it's
further.
part. It's fine because it's still part of the house.
Exactly.
Okay. And then, so you're saying you got to the exit and you were terrified and you ran out.
I'm saying I got to the exit and I stopped running because I was outside of the exit, and like Riley just said, his monsters are allowed to go up to the exit. So I went up to the exit, I stopped running, I'm in the safe zone. I assume,
But what
I'm
do you
fine.
mean by safe zone? Because, if it's an extension of the haunted house, it's foreseeable for people to walk out and walk in, and it's foreseeable for characters to be there. So what do you mean by safe zone?
It's the emergency exit into the safe zone. That's literally what it's
Is there
called.
a safe zone? Do you call it a safe zone?
We don't call it a safe zone. We have an area that's cordoned off that sort of separates the foot traffic from of the fair from the haunted house area. But there's nothing earmarked as safe zone per se, Your Honor.
All right, okay. So then you tripped, and what happened?
I tripped on just a pothole when I was running
Okay.
200 feet away from the haunted house. Mind you, the
that was
haunted house is
outside
here.
of the haunted house.
We don't have
It
any potholes,
was
Your
200 far away. It was a little hole, a little ditch in the ground,
All right,
whatever
did anybody witness her running 200 feet, 200 yards outside of the house?
My best friend was there with
Does she
me.
hear? Did she bring a statement?
She was not able
Okay.
to attend
All right.
today.
Okay, and what happened?
and I tripped and I fell and I was on the ground crying, and the monster was waving his bloody knife in front of me 200 feet away from the haunted house, off the premises where he was not supposed to have run to.
It's not that he wasn't supposed to, it's that they didn't encourage him to do that. But it's, when you go to, when you go to a haunted house, what do you expect?
A fun time.
No, you expect to get terrified and to be scared and to be jolted, to run, to be chased. You expect that. That is the inherent nature of a haunted house. Most businesses have to make sure the patrons are safe, but it's really unique for a haunted house because the purpose is to scare you, to make you run, to make you be frightened, and to make you act crazy. So if you were so scared that you ran out of the house through an exit, and because you were so scared, that's exactly what the haunted house was meant for you to do, to be scared. So for you to recover from the exact thing the haunted house wanted you to do is not fair. Because that's exactly, you assume the risk that you're gonna get chased, that you might fall, that because you're terrified, or somebody's pushing you because everybody's running. That is all part of the haunted house and what they're supposed to do. So it's a very unique thing where haunted houses are technically protected by that, right? So you fell, you were running, you were so terrified that you fell because you were frightened. That's exactly what you paid for, okay? So I cannot allow you to recover for that, all right? So based on the evidence, I will rule in favor of the defendant and deny the plaintiff's claim for $1,860. Good luck.
All rise.
Judge Perez has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
I hope you're happy.
There was no point
with the
to this.
trauma that you caused me.
You heard the judge.
Emotional distress. I haven't slept in so long.
This is ridiculous. We've been doing this for 20 years. You're the only person that's ever complained about being so scared.
Coming up on Justice for All.
Then one day, I get a phone call from the company saying the last 3 months haven't been paid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when
Did you know you failed to pay the last or those 3 months of the car?
Yeah.
You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. Nicholas Tucker is suing Derek King in the amount of $700. Mr. Tucker claims he paid the deductible for an accident his nephew was in and says the defendant would rather pursue a rap career than pay him back.
Mr. Tucker, I understand we are here today suing your nephew for $700.
That is correct, Your Honor. It was a $1,000 deductible from a collision accident, and he only gave me $300 of it.
Tell me about the accident. Whose car was it?
So when he was around 5 years old, my sister took him in. She adopted him. But around 15, once he started becoming a teenager, we kind of started to notice a difference in his attitude. So I just told my sister, I said, why don't you just let him come live with me?
What was going on in your life that your uncle thought that it'd be best for you to live with him?
Well, I guess it was just, me being in high school, being a teenager.
Getting into trouble?
Yeah.
All right. So continue, Mr. Tucker.
He had finished up high school. I said, if you save up $1,000, you go to school, we'll get you a car.
Go to college? Okay.
Yes. So he did. 6 months later, he had saved up $1,000. And so I met my end of the deal, and I actually met him with $2,500. I co-signed on the loan for him so that he could get the car.
Very nice. That's great.
But I made him a deal. I said, as long as you go to school.
2 years?
Yeah, no problems. You pay your car note, which was $250 a month. You can continue to use the car. And then sophomore year came around, the second year, and I started to notice kind of the same thing that happened when he was around 15. His attitude started changing. I noticed he started missing class.
What happened, Mr. King?
Coming up.
Weeks go by, all I get is $300. I feel like I would be letting him down if I didn't let him know that it's about the principle. I would rather him get hit hard today than versus out there in the world.
You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. We're back with the case of Nicholas Tucker, who is suing his nephew, Derek King, for bad debt.
I mean, I never really been into school. I would really just stay with it just to make my family happy.
If you decide not to go further your school after high school, then what else are you going to, what's your plan B?
Well, I do music.
Okay, what
Yeah,
do you
I
mean
rap.
by I do music?
I rap. I'm a rap artist.
Did you even know he was interested in music?
I did, Your Honor, and look, I had no problem with that. I said, well, I understand that, but you need to figure this out. You still need to pay your bills. If that's
Okay.
what you want to do, you can do that. You just need to pay your bills. So for the first 6 months, the car note was fine. Then one day, I get a phone call from the company saying the last 3 months haven't been paid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when
Did you know you failed to pay the last or those 3 months of the car?
Yeah.
Not that long later, he was in a car accident. A little fender bender. He was okay. Everything was fine. I said, well, look, I'm going to take care of this for you. It's $1,000, but I said, it's the top of the month now. I'm going to give you to the end of the month. I need the $1,000. Your Honor, weeks go by. All I get is $300. I feel like I would be letting him down if I didn't let him know that it's about the principle. Like this, I would rather him get hit hard today than versus out there in the world.
I agree with you 100%. Do you still live with your uncle?
Currently, no. I'm staying around the corner with my friend.
So you moved out of your uncle's house?
Not
Did he
permanently.
kick you out?
And he took off. He felt like it was what's best for him. I never said he had to leave. I never had a
You
problem
don't
with
know
it.
how good you have it. You really don't know how good you have it. So why did you walk out? You
I
felt
mean,
too
honestly,
much financial pressure?
I'll tell you why, Your Honor, because he wants to spend all his time and money at the studio session.
How much does the studio session cost you? $50.
An
How
hour.
many an hour? How many hours do you do per week?
3 times, 4 times a week.
So how are you paying for that?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well,
Judge Perez's verdict when Justice for All returns.
How do you think we settled this?
well, honestly, if I just had like a little more time, I
Well,
honestly would.
talk to your uncle, and I will supervise the talk. Look at him in the face, and what would you like to do?
Uncle Nick, I do plan on paying you the whole $700. I just need a little more time. And
Son,
especially-
I've given you time after time. I just gave you a whole month.
Right, but I mean,
And you keep
need
finding
a little
yourself
more
in the
than that.
studio and in
Okay,
the concert.
let's make barriers. He's on the right track. I think the first thing you should have done, Derek, is apologize.
You're right.
Okay?
Uncle Nick, I apologize for ignoring your messages.
I appreciate you, Uncle Nick.
I definitely appreciate you, for everything you've done for me. I do plan on paying you back. I apologize for being irresponsible. I just need another chance from you. I got the show coming up in 2 weeks. Then, I'm willing to give you my whole check.
Thank you. I hear you. But next time, let's not take it to this extreme to have this conversation.
Very good start. You raised a very good young man. So
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm just going to rule in how you just spoke to your uncle as an adult. If he does not pay you within a reasonable time, you let me know. I'm going to rule in favor of the plaintiff for $700. Good luck, gentlemen.
Judge Perez has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $700.
I apologize again for not giving you the money right away. I'm working real hard so I can, make it for both of us,
I know it's a tough lesson, but I got you. And if I didn't push you today, I wouldn't have done my job.
This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.